Greetings YouTube, welcome to 0AD Newbie Rush. I'm Jim Kogan and we have got a bit of a non-stop action belter of a game for you here today. It is another 4v4 mainland map and we got some great players and some new features, and once it kicks off it doesn't stop, so we're going to rip through this first bit. First thing to draw your attention to, I have yet another weirdy overlay in this corner here. This is provided courtesy of 0AD player and mod maker extraordinaire Badoso, who's also a YouTuber. I got links to his YouTube page in the description of the video, but this is his monitor mod. It's still in the sort of embryonic stages at the moment. Lots of things on there. It's kind of trying to keep in keeping with the layout of 0AD, but if you're looking at it and referencing it, this here is populations, popcap, and this here is numbers of military, so it's combined cavalry and infantry. And I'll be referencing this. It's a lot easier to read than my sort of DIY approach of just having the trusty F-God mod down here blown up and put up here. It's not too intrusive for 4-player. So that's what this is. Let's get on to introducing the teams and the players. It's a bit of a weird one. We have obviously 2 teams of 4. In the north of the map, we have Team 1, who are all playing as the Britons. Let's just go through the players one at a time quickly. First off, in the purple, we have Dakara, rated 1760. As I said, all of these players at the top are playing as the Britons. Dakara, I think this is just popping back to Dakara, I think this is the first time Dakara's featured on Newbie Rush, so very interested to see Dakara play. In the blue, as we said, playing as the Britons, Fapri, second appearance on Newbie Rush after I think it was a couple of weeks back, was in a 4v4 game that featured there and didn't have a great game. Let's see if we see a bit more of Fapri this time. Bit of a legendary player, one of the top players in the game as we all know. Fapri rated 1892 in the blue. Moving along again in the yellow, this is another game that this player has submitted to me. It's Ish, if I've still pronounced that right, I've no idea. Ish submitted 4 games to me. This is the second one I've covered, and it was the previous one that Fapri also featured in. But this is Ish, as we said, also playing as the Britons in the yellow. And finally, anybody who watches Tom 0AD's game will probably have remembered Tom's many attempts at pronouncing this guy's name. I'm going to go with the way he pronounced it, Christiger. It's either Christiger or Christ GTR. Christ GTR sounds like a slightly overpowered boy racer motor car from the 1980s. I've just pulled up in a Christ GTR. So I'm not going to call him that. I'm going to call him Christiger. Christiger playing in the red, rated 2046. Quite possibly, well, almost certainly one of the best players in the game. So looking forward to see Christiger playing. It's the first time we've featured Christiger. Let's look at Team 2 and hope we haven't missed any action while we've been waffling. Oh, I think we are seeing some action. I think this is a little raid. Yeah. Player we're about to feature. Who's that there? Okay, so in the orange, this is a little cavalry rush already. A little raid by the player in the orange. This is Faction 02. Don't think I've covered Faction 02 before. Faction 02, rated 1378 on paper. Lowest rated player in this game, but by no means is that definitive. Faction 02, from what I've seen in other games that haven't been broadcast, Faction 02 is a tidy player playing as the Gauls. Over here playing as the Iberians in the green, we have FFM also making his Newbie Rush debut. Played as the Iberians, rated 1669. FFM, another top and somewhat legendary player, so looking forward to seeing how FFM does. in the blue, we have Boudica, who turned up last week on Newbie Rush and unfortunately was on the losing side. Let's see if Boudica can turn it around, playing as the Romans in the, I suppose the light blue, it's the cyan. Playing in the cyan, Boudica, rating 1,729, and finally, over this side of the map, it's, I'm going to mispronounce this, Wallaloo, in the grey, rated 1,596, also playing as the Iberians. Two lots of Iberians on team 2. Right, we can actually now look at some action, see if anything is happening. Well, let's look at the populations first. We'll use our newfangled mod here. So we are 4 minutes in, and pretty much everybody is over 40 in terms of population. It is Christiger who is absolutely ripping it with 59. Just managed to house himself, as he said there. So I don't know what he's got coming out there. Is it about just 16 women coming out? This is an interesting approach from Christiger. Christiger has gone for no additional infantry or cav, has got to a population now of 68, and only 5 of those are not female citizens. They are just coming out in droves. So interesting tactic. Get all the women out, get them doing all the work, and then basically that population advantage that it gives you, take advantage of that. Get them building your infrastructure up quick. It's a good idea as long as you don't get raided, and you might get raided because Boudica down here, hasn't got the lowest population. Lowest population is Wallaloo. But Boudica has managed to spam out 17 cavalry. That is absolutely ridiculous. There's just cavalry everywhere. So they're gathering the hunt at the moment, but almost certainly Boudica's has given the game away. There is going to be a raid, and this could be it. There's a small group heading north here. How many are they? Is he committing all 17? It's a large amount of cavalry. Who are they going to go in on? I think obviously Christiger would be, that'd be a disaster if it went in on Christiger. How many female citizens has Christiger got in this group? It's 49 women in that group over there. If he goes over there, I mean, it could be curtains. That could be atrocious. It looks like it's the full 17. We'll have a quick scout around, see how everybody else is doing. Any sign of any action? There's going to be There's always confrontations on the flanks, so there will be flanking competition. But Boudica's coming in on this undefended group of 6 women. I don't think they're getting out of there alive. That's so that's 3. Got 3 of them, and it looks like a few of them escaped. Where did they go? Yeah, 3 of them dived in that house. He's now going in for Christiger's barracks over here. Christiger has got another barracks down here. So this will not be a disaster, but that is going to get captured and probably destroyed. Are they going to... They're not garrisoning anybody in it. But look at this. If Boudica just sent these horses over here, this is the softest of... There's 49 undefended women over there. Instead, that's unlucky. Came down here where there is rather more infantry. That is such a shame. That would have absolutely shafted Christiger if they'd have gone over there. As it is, Ish is coming in now to supplement things. Oh, but Boudica's coming back in. We want to be looking elsewhere just in case, sod's law, something else will be happening. But at the moment, this is where the action is. 17 horses. So you're going to keep looking at this, aren't you? Oh, he's lost 1. Yeah, so Christiger, I don't think even Chris... Has he lost a horse or has he sent 1 back? There's 16 of them now. There were 17. Is he going to come in on the fields around here? She's going to take out this very sick-looking cavalryman. So they are... What type of cavalry are they? Roman sword cavalry, so close quarter. Yeah, close quarter spears, so they are lethal. Boudica is racking up the kills, up to 11 already. And yeah, it's just taking a bit of a pounding now. Just got a quick look around the populations while this is going on. Is Boudica done yet, or are they? Is he going to do another? Another has killed another one over here. 12 kills now for Boudica. He's not going to have a go at the miners. They're so Christopher and Ish have felt Boudica's steel, as it were. I think Boudica's saying that is a job well done, and they're going off for a well-deserved break. So that was pretty brutal. Let's have a quick look, see how everybody else is developing. We're looking at an intriguing battle on the flanks here. This turns out so often to be pivotal, these flank areas. So what have we got, essentially? We've got Dakara, who is the higher rated player than Faction 2. Faction 2 has absolutely stormed off with numbers up to 116, 57 infantry, still just the one cav. So the largest population and the largest infantry is up to 119 now for Faction 2. So Faction 2 trying to be the aggressor. Which is strange. You would probably expect, playing as the Britons, I would have expected Dakara to be quite aggressive as well. Dakara himself has got population of 88, bringing up the rear a bit, 49 infantry, so it's no weak force. If an attack came in, Dakara's got numbers to defend it. Has started putting barriers in front of this open flank here. Whereas if we look at Faction 02, he started building houses around the CC. But large open space on this side. You would say possibly it looks like Faction 2 is going to go for aggression and attack rather than defense. As we'll have a look around. Well, we got walls coming up now for Dakara. Let's have a quick look at the opposite flank. This is going to be a flashpoint, no doubt. And it looks like Faction 2 is probably, for Faction 2 and FFM, who we haven't even looked at yet, have both phased up to Phase 2 very early. And Wololo has gone up to Phase 2 as well. It's all happening, isn't it? We'll look at the flanks first. So Christopher is moving ominously but slowly and steady closer to this border. Still, Christopher has now started producing infantry en masse, 43 of them. Wololo, unspectacular. It's Iberians. Iberians are not spectacular. Be the least spectacular faction in the game. Population of 109, 48 infantry. It's a solid force. Christopher has really pushed the go button on infantry. And as we're talking about this, it appears that Boudica's going in again on Christopher. What's he going to go for this time? Is he going for the fields? Most of the women that were previously up here, somewhat undefended, have now moved to farming. In comes Boudica, catches everyone by surprise. Will they get some kills? Oh, of course they will. Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's up to 17 kills in total now before the miners come in to try and shoo them away. Where are the rest of the women? There's 15 women down here, but still well protected. And small numbers of women over there. Not as effective, but possibly slowed Christopher down a bit. Is Boudica going to settle at that? No, Boudica's going back in. Go back in for the farms. Do they see it come in? Will there be more kills? He's on 17 at the moment. I think he's going to get at least one more. There it is. And yeah, one more kill before the miners came out again. And I think that could be it for now for Boudica, unless he decides to loop round and attack somebody else. Let's look at the middle teams. We'll keep an eye on the minimap, see what Boudica's doing. Boudica isn't fully withdrawing from the situation. We'll have a quick look at who's phased up. The whole of Team 2 have phased up. So we will start seeing Phase 3 buildings. Boudica's going around this flank now. Not going to deny that tower. There's no easy targets here. Boudica wisely decides that's a no-no. And I think that could be the end of Boudica's little incursion there. But things are getting a bit testy here. Big Iberian towers going up for Wololo. This is going to be a confrontational point as well. Boudica, I think, is going in again. in the meantime, we are seeing a massive incursion by Fapri heading towards... Who's he going to have a go at? He's going to have a go at Faction 2. So there have been small skirmishes here. Faction 2 been absolutely ripping through the phases. And I know Boudica's gone in again, but is going to... Oh, it's gone into the farmers. But... Oh, we're going to flick between the two. I think Boudica's going to lose more than they're going to kill there. But Fapri has sent in an enormous force. Let's see if we can get a total. Yeah, we're looking at least 70 troops of Fapri. It's a mix of spearmen and slingers. And... this is having a... Look at this. It's got up to 11 kills already. I'm just trying to see if Boudica's still attacking. Boudica's having a go over there at Ish now. But this is significant. This is an enormous deposit of forces from Fapri. Still... No, Fapri is phased up. Only Dakara hasn't phased up. Everybody else is in phase 2. So Fapri is now facing off against a combined... enormous force here. It's a mix of 70, nearly 80 troops of Faction 02 and 40 troops from FFM. But 46 kills in under a minute there from Fapri. That was absolutely brutal. Just came in and just killed with reckless abandon. I don't even think Fapri has upgraded his tree. I don't think he's got any upgrades, any tech upgrades. Let's have a look. See, no, I don't think he's got a blacksmith down, so I don't think he's upgraded these troops. It was just the sheer stealth and numbers. He's taken some losses now, but 55 kills and has totally distracted Faction 2 and oh, what have we got here? So while Fapri is causing all this mayhem down here, Boudica's seemingly never-ending cavalry of doom have decided to go in on Fapri's base here. Boudica up to 25 kills. FFM's managed to kill 29. That's going to be all of Fapri's attacking forces. Interestingly enough, FFM and whatever was left of that little army that engaged from Faction 2. Actually, it's quite a big army, to be honest. They're almost even numbers. They're coming in now. Boudica's also coming in at the side. So being attacked by 3 different forces at once, this is pretty incredible. This is really good play. FFM and Faction 2 have fought them all the way back. Boudica says this is getting a bit tasty and drops back a bit. Is he going to have a go? Is he going to try and have a go at Dakara as well while he's over here? I'm not sure. He's not going to get in through there. That's he's got to go the long way round if he is. And he's taken the wrong flank. Dakara has now phased up as well. Everybody's in phase 2. In fact, people are going up to phase 3. FFM, Faction 2, Woolaloo, all of those from, they've all phased up to phase 3 really quickly. We didn't even get to look at the putting up of phase 3 building. It's just been solid action. Where's Boudica gone? Boudica has seen no way through there, but we've got an incursion over here as well. Dakara has sneaked around the side. We'll have to flick between these two places. I bet we're going to have action here too. Now, thankfully, what have we got going on here? So little skirmishes, but nothing major. Boudica's now reached it. So again, the whole of Team 2 have reached the city phase before Team 1. It's hard to... Who would you say is winning if you were to say this? This confrontation is still going on up here. We still have an incredible amount of slingers for Fapri. Facing off now a dwindling number of attackers now. It is all FFM over there. Faction 2 has been forced out. FFM tried to build a sneaky CC in the middle there, but that didn't go well, and I think FFM has now been eliminated. With a bit of help from Ish over here, who sent some numbers over. I think we have but there's more coming in from FFM. FFM's trying to build a sneaky CC here. That isn't going to work. That's going to get taken down. There's no support unless Dakara sends somebody through. No support there. Dakara's still got a watchtower over here. So Dakara will have eyes on this area. They might want to get rid of that. Sort of faction 2 will know that's there. But it's kicking off massively in the middle. We have small force of Ish and a huge force of Fapri still. And FFM has given up on this expansion here and is sort of dropping back. And I'll probably try and expand in this middle ground. Ish has got huge numbers coming down as well. Come down, there's a bit of a pincer going on. So it's one way then another at the moment. Yeah, Fapri's going back in again, and Ish is going in. They're just kicking off constantly. Still nobody on Team 2 has upgraded, has got up to Phase 3. Faction 2 has got a fortress up. I think we're going to see fortresses going up all over the place. Now, there is FFM's fortress. We've hardly looked at Boudica's base development. Has Boudica got a fortress, or is Boudica trying to actually... Boudica's put in a CC up. Ish is walking straight past it, so isn't aware of it, but he's going to be aware of very suddenly he's going to have a huge infantry force of Ish coming down and hassling him right in the middle of his base, and it's not that well protected because Boudica is sending forces over here because Christopher is now attacking Woolaloo over here. Woolaloo has got a fortress going up. Christopher has gone up to Phase 3 now and has got a fortress up. There's a hero coming out. It's the Hero Cavalry Swordsman, perhaps the no-brainer hero for the Britons. But a big two-way, well, I suppose three-force battle going on. It's Boudica and Woolaloo in dwindling numbers. Woolaloo under a bit of pressure here. And I don't think... It's not even been built. They're trying to build this fortress whilst it's being pelted by Christopher. At the moment, it appears that Ish is rampaging through Boudica's base while Boudica is trying to assist Woolaloo. And over here, it's still going on. We now have Dakara, Fapri, and... yeah, Dakara, Fapri, and they're facing off against Faction 02. I think FFM will have to get involved again here because this looks pretty ominous. But we also have Hero and Rams coming out fairly soon for Faction 2. There could be trouble there. Interestingly, Dakara's still got eyes on this part of the map. There's a lot of kills in this. I can't believe how many people that Fapri's killed. It's 116... Is it 169? 169 kills for Fapri. Very impressive. As predictably, FFM sends troops in here. He's been supported by Tagahara, who has been a bit tentative. There is a clash going on here. Takara has focused on getting defences up. We've got stone walls, wooden palisade walls. It's going to take a bit of effort to get through there. Quite a lot of rams, and the most likely attacker he's going to get is going to be the sort of rams from the Gauls, which are similar to the ones of the Britons. They're not the strongest, so yeah, it's going to be tense over there. A huge crossway battle going on here. So big forces, combined forces from FFM and from Takara's. The first ram comes out, but we've got Faction 2. We've got FFM. We've got masses from Fapri and a little bit in the middle here from Takara, who's fighting these guys off. I think Takara will have to focus on this. Has he got any cavalry that he could send out? Let's have a look, see what he's got. He's making slingers still. He is now making some sword cavalry, so that will, he should be able to get numbers out through the small gap and take out rams. If they're not supported, we have a ram here from FFM, which is just going to try and plough into these slingers. Slingers not very good against rams, but these rams not the most effective against infantry. We still got a rampaging battle in the middle. Boudica has put down his CC and is in a bit of trouble here. He's got what has he got? He's got a few skirmishers, spearmen and the odd swordsman, but he's up against the range of British, the Britain slingers, and quite a lot of them, and he's just sort of running into a crossfire, so he's having to hang back. So Ish causing all kinds of mayhem over here. How is this little standoff between, well, that that fortress that Woolaloo had is gone, and I think they've safely sort of resited it over here. Woolaloo is sending troops out because Boudica has not been able to see off Ish completely. Ish has got a free reign again to, I think I think Ish is actually going to get this barracks. We'll have a look. This battle is still raging over here. It's absolutely all kicking off. There are rams from both sides. So we've got 3 rams going in over there. Any attempts to try and attack Dazaka's base have been thwarted. But it's here where this big 3-way battle is happening. We got Dazaka and... it's actually 4-way, isn't it? We've got Tazaka and Fapri at the top holding steady. It's now FFM and Faction 2's turn to push it a little bit. So we've got Siege coming in on Fapri's base. And a bit of siege down here. Obviously, Faction 2 wants to be going in through here. We've got double walls. Has he got the numbers? Is this the big charge? I think he could do with a couple more rams, to be honest. Are there more on the way? There's another one on the way. Everybody's pretty close to population limit. Everybody's at phase 3, apart from Fapri. Fapri now is facing a ram attack and small numbers of infantry. They seem to have diminished FFM's forces. That ram got through, took out a barracks, but didn't get much further. Dazaka's now got Sword Cav chasing it. Very sick looking Sword Cav though. It's obviously taken a pasting elsewhere, but this is where the action is now. So we have a second ram joining it, some captured and now destroyed houses. And this is a danger point, but there are 13 sword cavalry waiting in the CC. Anything breaches this, they come, they're going straight to take down these rams. I think it's a shame. If Faction 2 had been here, he could have taken them out from distance. As it is, they got rid of... No, they've only partially damaged the first ram. And Faction 2 has stopped. Oh, he should have taken down that tower. Are they trying to capture the tower? That would be... Well, nope. Tower's gone. That's not going to happen. But this is clever. So Tazaka has free shots at all these guys here. As they come in on the CC, the horses come out and that ram will not live very long. It's minor damage to the CC, and then they'll go and take this out. But there is a lot of infantry here. This could be a bit airy. But I think they go back inside. They're now attacking the CC. This is worrying. Is he gonna... Oh, they come out, and I think they're just going to take that ram down. If they don't lose any more horses, that ram is gone, and that's the end of that attack, really. They're going to pile inside. It's a half damage. If these are slingers... he hasn't got the slingers. He's got skirmishers. If he had got slingers, he could have been taking down this building just with the slingers' firepower. The skirmishers, they're no good at buildings. Now, we're going to have to look elsewhere, despite that the stuff happening here. There is still an ongoing rumble between FFM and Fapri here. The ram is still there. Fapri's been forced back, and FFM has expanded into this area. And in the middle here, we've also got... Just shift focus slightly. We're getting a bit of lag because of the numbers. We have to be a bit less jerky with the movements. Apologies. We're all near population max for most of the players. It's going to slow down a bit. Good old 0 AD. We have a CC that's been put down by Ish right on Boudica's border. Boudica must be sick to death of the sight of Ish. Ish is gradually sort of moving in here and supporting Christopher, who is socking it to Woolaloo over this side, I believe. He's going to go for a charge. So, yeah, there is an enormous gap in Woolaloo's wall there. They're repairing it. They're trying to get it up as a ram comes in. They are certainly repairing that at speed. So, the broken wall is broken no more. Good recovery, good defending from Woolaloo, and they've obviously had a crack at the CC as well, but that's not going to go there. Boudica is now fighting a pitch battle with Ish over here and over here, so fighting him on 2 flanks. And let's have a quick look at how the ongoing battle over this side is going. It is literally all over the place, this game. There is stuff happening absolutely everywhere. FFM and Fapri are still doing their attritional fight, but Fapri Fapri has had to divert some forces over here because Faction 2 has come in with more rams. They've taken out a big hole in that fence, so they have got a clear run at the CC. Is that being repaired now? No, they aren't repairing it yet. They should do, really, because if one of those rams goes in, it wouldn't have to hit it too many times. But Fapri is now seeing off this infantry. They got rid of a ram. So the rams are not proved to be effective. They just cannot maneuver them close enough and support them with infantry. Fapri and Dizaka are doing very well at holding this area. Meanwhile, over here, it looks like it's FFM who's now being gradually fought back as Fapri's going to bring his troops back. FFM is trying to make ground here. Most of these buildings are garrisoned, so yeah, it's a temple. FFM doesn't really want to be fighting in the shadow of this garrison temple. He's got a ram going in, taking out houses, but I do wonder whether he'd have been better off just sort of sneaking around, maybe trying to take out some of these infrastructure buildings over there. It's interesting. Let's see. The siege over here has kind of ended, so Faction 2 is building up rams again, building up forces again. Everybody is close to the population max. Only Dizaka's a bit low. He expended a lot of forces defending this, but he's now put his walls back up and everything's hunky-dory again. An extra layer of wooden palisade walls going up now. So no sooner does Faction 2 go in with rams and get repelled, and then, you know, when he has to back off, he's rebuilding his defences with a few troops and is now supporting Fapri. Fapri is now absolutely socking it to FFM, who's going to have to withdraw from this. He can't hold this. Yeah, he's going to be supported by huge numbers of troops from Dizaka. Dizaka has to be careful because in comes Faction 2 again. There's a big attack going to come in here. There is still a gap there. Dizaka doesn't want to be too far away from this area because it will leave this wide open. But when you're socking one of the strongest players back, like Fapri and Dizaka are doing, yeah, you want to be involved here. Remarkably, Ish is still plaguing Boudica here. Wallalo is pretty much set up over here. Krestigar is now through the walls. He's taken his time, but he's now bearing down on the CC. So I think Woolaloo will have to abandon this base. In fact, I think that's what he's doing. There are lots of citizens coming out this side. They're probably going to have to put a base over this side somewhere before they lose this one, somewhere in the shadow of the fortress. But there are 4 rams, tons of infantry coming in. And how's this fight go? So Boudica is absolutely under the cosh now. We've got rams coming in from... Is this Ish? It is. I think the CC could be coming down, possibly. They got rid of one ram. They're going to get rid of the other. They have, but this CC is close to death. It is being slowly repaired, but Ish is now pelting it with slingers. So it could go either way. Its health is dropping. I think these slingers are actually going to get this CC of Boudica's down. It is very close. It's now coming down just to the 100 mark. It's under 100. They're not going to repair that as much. There it goes. So... And Ish says thank you very much and withdraws, and Boudica's left homeless. And is he going to give chase? It's a smaller force. He's going to run into reinforcements from Ish, and that's not something he's going to win. But in the meantime, Ish is also still absolutely plaguing Boudica down here. Fapri has pretty much forced FFM back over to his side of the map. So FFM is now taking a bit of a hammer. We're 24 minutes in. Everybody has killed at least 100, nearly 150 each of everybody else's troops. There's who's the top murderer? Obviously Fapri has got over 340 now. 340 kills. This has been absolutely brutal. We can sort of see kill-death ratios here on this. It's not very well because it's putting them to too many sort of decimal places. But for Priest's kill-death ratio, it must be lethal. It's up at 1.5. So for all those kills, he has lost and sacrificed a lot of troops. Oh, look at this. Okay, so we completely missed. It looks like Faction 2 has got through the walls, but none of the rams made it. So he's just pressed through with infantry, and he's going on a killing spree. He has killed 221 people, and it looks like he's working his way around the map. I don't know if this is sensible. I think he's overcommitted himself. He's going to take huge losses. He'll cause disruption. Maybe he's going to try and hassle Fapri and link up with FFM. FFM's got no siege here. He's taken a bit of a hammering from Fapri. And Ish is still plaguing Boudica. He's now hassling Boudica over this side. He just seems to have an infinite number of infantry. Woolaloo is now trying to hit back subtly. He's got his new CC going up because Christopher has totally destroyed it. Christopher's decided not to press through and try and flatten Woolaloo fully. He's rebuilding whilst destroying the remnants of the Iberian walls over here. So he's going to be a little while, but in the meantime, Woolaloo has put up another CC over this side and is assisting in trying to sort of expunge Ish from this area because Boudica's under the cosh a bit. The travelling, crazy, marauding Gaul army here have gone through Fapri. They've not found any targets. They're now going to come through and attack Ish, who probably will be a bit distracted at this point. I'd have to question this from Faction 2. It looks good. It looks really good. He's being chased by Dizaka. I think Dizaka needs to go back and possibly... Well, I think if Dizaka comes down here and strikes, there is still a huge army here. There are more rams coming out. Is this a ruse? Is he just trying to distract everybody and then strike secretly? I mean, it's a sizable force that he's sending round.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, it's over 60 troops and a few priests, so yeah. But the losses he must be taking. He is getting kills, but he must be taking humongous losses. How's Christica doing? Is he's still dismantling the Iberian walls over here? Woolaloo is still trying to sock it to Ish, and it looks like... Well, now Ish has decided... that's quite good. So Boudica put up a sneaky entrenched military colony here, has managed to get a couple of rams and a catapult out, but in the process this entrenched military colony is in a bit of danger and it's gone. It's being pelted again by these slingers. FFM is coming in to try and get rid. Everybody is piling in on Ish here. I think this little expansion by Ish is going to come to nothing. He's going to be pushed back. Ish is regrouping his forces. Where is that marauding army of Faction 2s? They are now moving on to attacking Ish's base. So they're just causing hassle. If he could capture a barracks, that would be good. He's still being pursued.
Yeah,
Still being pursued by Fapri here. Fapri and Dizaka are now moving down on FFM. FFM has had to retreat all the way back here. And it's not looking good for FFM, to be honest. Where's his fortress? His fortress is here. He has no siege out at the moment. There is a fair amount of siege in the game. Most of it is Christiga's, who's still totally wiping out this side of the map. He wants to dominate this whole area. Woolaloo is bringing up the rear in terms of population now. It's down under 100, so he is suffering. Ish is still causing hassle over here. The resilience of these troops is incredible. But we are now seeing Ish's infrastructure in this little expansion that he built being destroyed by Boudica, who's come back well considering he's been under pressure for so long. It's FFM who's in a bit of trouble. He is still trying to build, but now Faction 2, is he going to go for another strike? He's still got a rogue army over here who are now going in at Christiger. You do wonder whether they'd have been better off here or focused. That's a lot of troops. But it's Faction 2 who's again throwing everybody in. It looks like he's given up on trying to attack. Maybe this is the plan. It's like make a distraction here and send the rams in here. But I mean, this hasn't worked before. I bet there are still horses. There's 2 horses and 2 sword cav and 3 champion swordsmen. That will probably be more than enough to stop individual rams, but he's not. He's sending them. He's going in on Fapri, trying to stop Fapri's progress, but he's going to be caught in a crossfire between Fapri here, who we know is deadly, and Dizaka in the trees here, who is going to take all of these people out as they go past. He's got a great position to defend from. There is a temple in there, so they're being healed. Temple here. This is a kill zone, so Faction 2 on his own is not going to go through. What's going on here? FFM is sending a whole load of infantry up, including some women. I think they're going to run straight into infantry here and die horribly. So I'd have to question this. This is not where you want to be fighting a battle without too much support. Faction 2 has sent his troops in. They are getting diminished as we speak. His rogue army are still over here, still being traced by a few of Fapri's troops. So he's gone through all of the opponents as the game lags up a bit, as there's a lot of combat going on. It's Christopher now who is going in on Boudica at the business end. There are catapults, rams, all sorts going on. And I think Kristiker's going to get through here. I think he's got the wave of momentum. There is a catapult. That seems to have warned Kristiker off. I think he needs more infantry and more support. 2 catapults and lots of infantry. That's going to be a bit more tricky, isn't it, to get through there? The rogue army now comes round. They're still going. They're now they're still hassling Kristiker here in these gates that Kristiker has given up on destroying. There's just action everywhere, isn't it? Ish has now sent in a huge army and rams, and I think they're going to come in either on Faction 2 or on. Well, Faction 2 has withdrawn from this particular fight, which he was never going to win. He's still got good numbers. He's up at 190. He's very good at resupplying, but he is about to have trouble. It looks like FFM is going to hit trouble first. He has got a huge army of Ish coming in, 83 slingers and a handful, 4 spearmen, 3 battering rams. Is Fapri going to support this? And, well, Fapri is here. He's got troops here. Dizaka are here. It's like they're waiting for an attack from Faction 2. Faction 2 could... I'm wondering if at this stage it's stone walls. I wonder if Faction 2 could just get through here and come through this flank. There's a lot of buildings in the way. It's a very cleverly constructed base. There's a lot of horses here which will take out the rams. Here they come. Are they going to take out the rams while they're still in situ? He's going to run into masses of infantry here. So this looks like a suicide charge. He thinks much better of it and runs away. He's almost spurred them on to move in. And I think this will trigger... So interestingly, Dizaka sort of spurred him into attacking. Fapri appears to want to be able to deal with this. He's sort of hovering here. Faction 2 doesn't really know whether he wants to charge or not. Ish is coming in and really socking it to FFM. FFM is in big trouble here. His population is down to under 140. How is Kristiker doing? Is Kristiker making any headway? He's still fighting the rogue army of Faction 2 here. So by that measure, he's not had to deal too much with any other attack. Woolaloo is down to a very low population, 68. He can't get... he's lacking food and wood. So he's got Boudica's catapults here to try and position this. So Boudica, for once, not being hassled by anybody. Is trying to defend Woolaloo in this flank, but Kristiker is looking pretty ominous here. He's taking his time. It's slow and steady. It's very attritional. Strangely enough, we have a raid by FFM. FFM has done a sneaky cav raid. I'd almost forgotten he'd got a lot of cavalry. He's got 40 cavalry. He sprung those out from nowhere. So he's trying to hassle Ish, and he is still hassling Kristiker back at his base. He's killing minor infrastructure buildings. There is a full-on battle going on here. So Fapri, as we predicted, is keeping Faction 2 at bay, stopping him from trying to attack here. Zaka's got a ram of his own at the back and is supporting this very ominous looking attack by Ish on FFM. I think FFM could be in huge trouble. He could lose, he could be about to lose this fortress here. They're coming through. I don't think there's anything there that's going to really stop them. FFM has he re-equipped a bit? He's still under 150 population. He's facing big numbers. Faction 2 is just getting engaged in an attritional fight here, but his rams are being destroyed in the melee. And whose rams are these? These are Ish's rams coming through now to sort of soften up Faction 2's base. So it's a sweeping attack. FFM has been attacked but sort of now being left alone, and they're going over and having a go at Faction 2. The lag gets worse as the big battle happens. Christopher is absolutely laying into Wallalow, whose population under 60. So he is getting pummeled by these catapults from Boudica. And Boudica has got an army here. But yeah, they can't quite get through. I think they're going to come round now, try and go through the middle. Boudica's done quite well, but I think he needs to push back. Christopher has spread all the way through here. There are weak points, but I think Boudica has to focus on defending. His population is at max. He's got 8 siege engines out, but he can't really deploy them. It's the catapults are out in the defensive capacity.
Yeah, see?
Christopher's now taking the long way round. Is he going to try and join the battle over here? FFM sort of trying to get involved, but it's proving difficult. A huge amount of slowdown in the game here, so it's going to be a bit tricky to see what's going on. I'll do my best. So there is another big three-way fight. We got Fapri, bit of Dzerka somewhere. Where is he? He's involved. I think he's trying to spread around the side here. So incursions being made by Dzerka. He's trying to come in from this side and destabilize things. So Fapri is pushed straight through the middle. Ish has been fought back because Boudica is attacking with rams and infantry near his base. Dzerka has sent a contingent of troops up here to support it. And will they stop this ram? This ram's probably going to come in on the fortress. No, Boudica's pulled them back and then is pulling them forward, but they're going to get pelted by that infantry. Christopher's going right through the middle and is building a sneaky CC in this neutral territory here and sending his rams in on FFM. It's probably, when it ends, it's going to collapse very suddenly. So who's in trouble? Wallalow definitely in trouble. I think he is probably going to keep hold of his base here because he's defended by Boudica, but it's opened up a weak point, and Christopher now going in on FFM, who's in huge trouble, and Fapri is also pushing through. He's got at least one ram of Dzerka's here that could be employed to try and take down Faction 2's base. Faction 2 has not been a fighting force since he sent the rogue army on their world tour of the map. I wonder whether he regrets that now. He's under pressure. If there were more rams coming in, I would say that Faction 2 was in serious trouble. As it is, there are more rams. There's lots and lots of them. It's Christopher's army who are coming in. Can Boudica do anything about this? He's using his catapults, but it's not a very mobile army, whereas Ish's army, he's got some reserves of slingers here. How many of them? Nearly 60. They're coming in. There are some Roman rams here, but they're being taken down. They're not in good health, so I don't think they're going to be a factor. This is Fapri's sort of 2 advanced fortresses. Where are Christopher's rams going? Are they going straight for the jugular? And what's happening over here? That one ram of Dzerka's has made it right the way through to the middle, and Fapri is supporting it. He is taking out anything that's trying to attack it. It's taking his time. FFM's trying to help here, but FFM has terrible trouble here on the horizon. They've got to get through the Iberian walls, but there are enough rams and there's not really enough to defend them. Oh, we are seeing resignations. So yeah, I think there was a tide that was definitely coming in. Faction 2 was being overrun. FFM was being overrun. Wallalow had a low population. Boudica would have been left on his own, and I think he didn't fancy any of that. And the northern team there, the team from the north of the map, Team 1, were much stronger at that point, and it probably would have been a foregone conclusion. What a game! I am breathless after that. Let's have a quick look at the stats. Yeah, I'm well and truly knackered. So that was all action pretty much all the way after about the first 5 minutes. It started with Boudica's cavalry charge, and it didn't really stop. So that was absolutely nuts. Let's see who the big scorers are then. So total score. Interesting. So Team 1 have got the best team score, but it's Faction 2 who's come out overall as the top scorer and scores around the 10,000 and 12,000 for FFM. Consistent scores across the board here. Dakara, who spent a lot of time defending, has got the lowest score there. That's probably the lowest score of the game. No, Woolaloo got the lowest score because he didn't really get involved in many sort of forward expansions or any kind of attacks like that. But overall, I think it's the military difference. It was the way that certainly Fapri and Ish were able to dominate the game, and then Christopher was just like it was just a bludgeoning instrument. Just went straight through, and there was no stopping it. It was slow and steady. Let's have a look at the old kill death ratio. Well, we'll look at the numbers first. So. Units raised, Faction 2 raised a huge amount of units, but lost shed loads as well, so huge losses. And I think a lot of that was the suicide charge. Fapri, he did lose a fair amount himself, but certainly the top killer there killed 611 of the opponent's troops. That was that first attack was absolutely huge. That definitely put Team 2 on the back foot for a while, but they fought back. But they were able to come back in, Team 1. So they always look stronger. All playing as the Britons, they could always spam out a load of slingers and take out troops from distance. And they definitely did that. They all know how to play with the Brits faction very, very well. Let's have a look at the kill death ratios. Unsurprisingly, Fapri 1.54, so killed 1.54 of the opponent's troops to everyone he lost. That was a bit of a killing spree from Fapri. I'm very impressed with him. What else have we got? In terms of text, Faction 2 got Will to Fight and got a lot of the military upgrades. He didn't get the ranged infantry full upgrade. Who else did? Nobody else went for Will to Fight. FFM certainly beefed up his cavalry a bit, but Christopher built up probably the most solidly upgraded army. They had really, really good ranged infantry. He beefed up the rams completely, so it's no surprise that he had to get through Iberian walls. I'm quite impressed. If we're going to pick a player of the day, I think I've got to go for Fapri. Just for the sheer impact of his attacks and the way that he makes a small number of slingers do so much damage. Ish was really good as well. He did that expansion. I was a bit disappointed he couldn't hold it. I thought he was going to give Boudica a really hard time, but Boudica has earned the rating that he's got. That was really, really good play as well, defending from Boudica. Just couldn't be aggressive going forward. Poor Boudica, I've covered him twice. He's lost both games. So very good when under pressure. But I certainly was... you'd have to say really early on, if Boudica's cavalry could have come in and wiped out that huge amount of female citizens of Christopher, would Christopher have been the force that he was later in the game? Maybe it's these small measures that make the difference. But I'm going for player of the game. My player of the game certainly was for Pre. I thought it was a masterclass on how you use Britain's slingers. So congratulations to Fapri and to Team 1. I'm going to go for a lie down. That was a really breathless but very exciting game. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do leave a comment, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell icon to be notified of future episodes. If you'd like one of your matches featured on the show, see the video description of how you can submit your replays. And if you can't wait for the next episode, then why not check out these playlists in the end titles for more replays, commentary, and tutorials on 0 AD Newbie Rush. I'll see you in the next video.